Hello, everybody. Welcome to the AEW Rewind podcast, where we talk all about AEW. My name is Shawn DeLong,
And I'm Justin Bradley.
and this week was a pretty good episode of Dynamite. Nothing too crazy, but it was a good episode.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously they can't go crazy every show. It just ruins the surprise and the fun of it. It was taped too, so that kind of did play a little role in that. You could tell some things were taped, or you could tell the whole show was taped basically. But that played a role into it. But overall, if I had to rate this show, I'd give it like a 7, 6.5, 7. I'd lean more towards a 7. I thought it was a really fun show. The matches were good. There were hardly any spots where I was really bored. We'll get into the first match here, which we kicked off with, but I was really not looking forward to that, and I actually was a little bit surprised by it. So
this week they also had a new updated Dynamite intro.
Yeah.
As well. And Britt Baker is in attendance with her Rolls-Royce golf cart.
Yeah, they're really doing a good job with this. We'll get into more Britt Baker later.
I just like that it was just a piece of paper that said Rolls-Royce on, just slapped on the back of a golf cart.
Yeah, she had like glitter, or she had the golf, like the gator cart, all like decked out and stuff. So, it's really cool to see her taking advantage of this and like not just like disappearing from TV.
She's turning her injury into a gimmick.
Yeah.
So the very first match on the show was the tag team match for the AEW Tag Team Championship between Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, the champions, versus Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc.
And honestly, this was probably Kip Sabian's best match in AEW, one of his best matches.
Yeah, I thought it was a very straightforward tag team match. Like, it wasn't like they didn't go like balls to the wall or anything, but I felt like it was still a really good match.
And like last week, I was always saying I'm not looking forward to this at all. So I was kind of like I was like, okay, we're good. We're getting it out of the way early, because I didn't want to.
Honestly, I kind of thought the same way when they saw. I was like, oh, good, it's gonna be this match first.
Yeah. So, but I mean, in the end, like it was actually a pretty good match. I think. Yeah. It was nice to see Hangman back. That was Hangman's first match back, like other than like a real, stadium stampede.
And they said that they were they prefer 2% 80 proof.
Yeah, yeah, man, I love those guys so much. But it was really interesting how Hangman Page came out first. Or no, I forget. Yeah, Hangman Page came out first.
Yeah, Hangman did come out first.
Normally, it's like the better wrestler comes out first or whatever. It depends for tag teams. So it was really interesting that Kenny Omega went out second when Kenny Omega is arguably one of the best wrestlers in the world. So this was a good match. It was really surprising to me how much offense not Penelope, Jimmy Havoc and Kip got in.
Yeah, that's true.
But also there was a funny spot with Penelope Ford and Hangman.
Oh yeah. I did remember that.
She did the Hurricane Rana. She tried to do like from the top rope Hurricane Rana, and Hangman just caught her. But she was like in the position of Hurricane Rana, but he was just sitting there. And then he asked the ref Rick Knox, like, "What do I do?" And he was like, "Drop her." And he was like, "Drop her," and he just literally just dropped her on the floor. But
afterwards, I saw on Twitter, Hangman was like, "That lady tried to give me a Hurricane Rana, but I really don't have time for that."
Yeah, his Twitter is so good too. So happy how much he's developed.
Yeah, I appreciate Jimmy Havoc's sure you can uppercut that he did to I think it was Kenny.
Yeah.
So
sorry, just quick. Havoc didn't even look bad either. Like this is one of Havoc's better matches, but
everyone looked really good in this match.
Yeah.
Of course, Omega and Page got the win with hitting the last call, that V-trigger buckshot lariat combo to retain the AEW tag titles.
Yeah, and then also they did show FTR in the stands watching from afar, so that's a cool little thing they showed.
As well as the best friends were there too.
Yeah, and they were best friends. Had a fun part of the show with Orange Cassidy when we get to that too. But it's a good starter match, better than I thought. And it'll obviously they face which we learned best friends at Fyter Fest.
Yep. And after this, they have a kind of like a vignette in the back with it's in a car between Tony Blanchard and Shawn Spears.
Yeah, See, I don't know what they're trying to do with this, with the glove and all that stuff.
They said there's some history to it, which I might need to look up on,
Yeah,
because
I'll need to look up on it more. I think it was probably before we were big, like when we were younger and like
maybe even
before.
before we were born.
Yeah. So
It's
yeah.
really
So we'll have to look into that. But I mean, I've always wanted Shawn Spears to team up with FTR and do like a Four Horsemen kind of thing. But we'll have to see. I think again, I don't know how you recover Shawn Spears. I think Tully had a really good promo.
yeah, he was kind of like an emotional pep talk beforehand.
Yeah, that was really good. It was good to see him back, and
Because
again, it'll be interesting to see what they do with him because they've tried like 3 different things now, and
they really have to turn that guy around
yeah,
after how he was treated at Double or Nothing.
yep,
So the next match was a squash match from Brian Cage defeating a guy named Shawn Dean.
yeah.
And
I mean,
they introduce him as the Machine on his in-ring introduction.
yeah, it's classic Brian Cage
Yep.
here. Next week or soon, I want to see him face like a named person now. I think Cage used some new moves that I've never really seen him use before. He's trying some things out, but I think everybody knows by now. Like he's the Machine. Like I don't think you need to
Yeah.
have him keep beating up jobbers. So I think should be the last of that. I get you want to build him up because many people don't know who he is, but I think if he beats, like a valuable name, not a value, like like a name, a guy on the roster, I think that
Yeah.
would build him up more. And yeah, and then also like with Lance Archer, the reason why Lance Archer worked so well because when he was in that tournament, he was beating named people like Colt Cabana, Dustin Rhodes, like he was beating all those guys.
Mhm.
And that's what built him up stronger. I think they need to start doing that with Brian Cage.
Yeah. So afterwards, they had a Taz promo. Well, actually, after that, they kind of have a hint at what Fighter Fest is going to be like, because it's going to be happening over 2 nights, July 1st and the 8th. It's on 2 Wednesdays, and it seems like it's going to be 2 special Dynamite episodes.
I love it. They're doing the best with what they can. Obviously, we're in a pandemic right now. You won't have to pay for this.
Which is great. I love that.
Yeah, it's gonna bring the viewership up a lot for those 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And I just really like the idea. And Tony Khan's just a great owner and on the house or whatever. So that was really cool to see.
He has been doing really well as the owner of the company.
Yeah, and they had really good Double or Nothing numbers too for the pandemic. They're killing it right now for what they what they're going through right now with this whole pandemic. Things are looking better, or the rules are getting lifted in Florida. So who knows if they can have fans back sooner than many people believe. But yeah, I mean,
Yep.
I'm kind of surprised at how well they're doing, honestly.
Yeah, so they announced that the Brian Cage John Moxley match will be happening on July 8th of the Fighter Fest, 2 days.
Yeah, and then we get the
Taz promo.
Taz promo. He does the classic, his beat him if you can, or no, what is this? What is survive if he lets you? I know it's the last.
Beat him if he can, survive if he lets you. I'm pretty sure
that's a classic Taz line. That's what he used to say all the time. When he was back in the day.
And his whole thing, and his whole thing was that like Taz says that Mox had the audacity to laugh during his promo last week, and he starts calling him out, which gets Moxley to come out.
And he took off the glasses. I was like, all right,
took off the
Taz
glasses.
is serious. He took off the glasses. But yeah, Moxley comes out, from the middle of nowhere in the arena. And walks.
Where's he go? I wonder where he goes every time he has to come out from that like middle area of the.
I mean, it's way easier now because there's no fans. But when he first debuted, they had to hide him because he came from the stands. So like, some people saw him, but like the big match was going on because that was the main event. So he had to nobody was really out in the common areas, so they had to sneak him around. So.
Now that he always comes out from that middle area, it's like, wonder where he comes from every time, because he always comes out from that middle area.
It's really funny, but yeah, I mean,
so yeah, he comes all the way out there and starts getting into it with Taz, where Moxley puts over Cage, and then he says that it was like when someone calls out Moxley, don't forget who you're talking to.
Yeah, and it was really cool to see Mox be like, I love it. Like, I want this. I
Like he
want
wants
Brian
to fight a
Cage.
big guy
Yeah,
like
like I don't.
Cage.
It's not like I'm afraid. I want to. But he's like, you're gonna have to fight along the whole day if you want to beat me or whatever.
Hmm.
But,
So
yeah,
the
and
yep.
what else do you have to say about this whole face-to-face off?
Yeah, that's really all you need for a build up to a match between these two. It's just two intense guys who want to get a match with each other for the championship.
Yeah, how many more weeks do we have until we have 1, 2, 3, 4? We have like 4 weeks. We have a month of them to build still, so there's still obviously a lot yet to come. I'm sure
Yep.
we'll get some sort of physical interaction.
Hmm. So after this, they had a quick Lance Archer promo when he was supposed to have been interviewed, and he
Beating
was
up,
yeah, he was just beating up some random dude on the side of the
beating up a
highway.
luchador in the middle of a construction or like a construction site. Like, where do you find like a luchador in the middle of a construction site? But yeah, it was just classic Lance Archer and Jake the Snake. But
Getting mad, being angry, saying he'll show pain like you never seen before.
yeah, and he talked. Jake hardly didn't even say anything. So
Hmm.
that was really cool to see. Obviously, Jake kind of apologized to Alex Marvez, which was kind of interesting there because that's not really that kind of character.
I guess he
Um,
was like, I guess he was supposed to be surprised that even Lance is this, pumped up now.
yeah, I'm just waiting for Alex Marvez to take a bump because I need it to happen because I don't like Alex Marvez. I don't know. He just makes it so like I don't know. He could have just easily backed up when he was talking to him, but instead he like stayed there and then he just grabbed him. Um,
Mm.
yeah. I wish I could find somebody else for those.
So the next segment is a vignette with the private party when with Matt Hardy shows up.
It was this was really funny because the private party was marking out over Matt Hardy.
Because he was talking about how he was there in the future of the AEW tag team division and how he kind of sees like the Hardy Boys and them.
And Private Party are going to be really good in they're good now, but obviously they still have a lot to work on. But they're going to be a really good tag team in a couple years here. And they're still really young, all that, and obviously words from Matt Hardy like that about the Hardy Boys is really inspirational to them. I'm sure.
It's interesting. He said that if he tells them that if they need any help, he'll be there.
Yeah, and I'm sure he will actually literally be there too, not just
Probably.
yeah. And this was a different version of Matt Hardy. This wasn't Damascus. This was just
I think this was I guess himself, like Matt
yeah.
Hardy, the person.
Yeah, and it was also really funny afterwards when he walks out into the hallway.
Yeah, runs into Sammy Guevara on his scooter.
And he goes Sammy, and then Matt or whatever, and then they say I forget who said respect. Did Matt Hardy say respect? I think.
I think yes. Matt was like, "You earned my respect" or something along those lines. And Sammy just was kind of like, I don't know, confused, surprised, just couldn't really understand why he was acting that way.
Yeah, I really hope this happens more. Where just people meet Matt Hardy in the middle of always. I think it would be funny.
Yeah, just Matt Hardy just acting regular when everyone knows him as this crazy person.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mark Quinn says that he was better as well in this promo, and as you can tell, that he will show up in he will have a match against Cody next week.
And it was pretty much. I mean, they did a little editing error. Tony Khan confirmed on Twitter about this, but it was supposed to be Ray Phoenix, but apparently he's still not 100% from the injury, and they just kind of threw Mark Quinn in there.
It should be interesting to see.
Great wrestler.
It'd be interesting to see how he can do by himself.
Yeah, he hasn't had a match. He tweeted it or something. He was like, I haven't had a match in a singles match in 2 years. So, I mean, it's going to be a solid match. I know that Cody's obviously really good at doing that, as we saw at the end of the night. But yeah, I mean, I'm not against it, but I really wish there would be more reasoning behind it than just throwing him out there. Ray Phoenix, I could understand because he's Ray Phoenix, but this guy's a tag team, wrestler. So
Yeah, I guess you could say that. It is kind of
yeah,
interesting because he was just kind of thrown into this match when Ray Phoenix is an established, can be
yeah,
an established singles guy as well.
yeah. I think they could have gave it to somebody else, but I don't know who. But I feel like there's somebody out there that could have did it instead.
Mm,
But it'll probably be a really good showing for
Mark
Mark
Quinn.
Quinn. I'm sure he won't win, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So the next segment, they showed a part that happened after the Mike Tyson showdown between him and Jericho, where he pushes Colt Cabana out of the way, which is supposed to set up and Jericho kind of blames Colt Cabana for stopping him from getting to Mike Tyson, which is supposed to set up the match yesterday.
Yeah, which is ridiculous because there was more than just Colt Cabana holding him
Yeah,
back.
that's true. That is true. I didn't
Like
really think about that.
you just picked Colt Cabana because he was the one you saw first. But this was honestly a really solid match for. Oh well,
Oh,
before we get into it, do you want to talk about Sammy singing? Did you see Sammy singing the song in the beginning?
oh yeah, he was like belting out the vocals to
Off
Judas.
key, forgetting
Yeah.
half the lyrics, everything.
So that goes into the Colt Cabana Chris Jericho match, which I like. Also in that entrance, Jericho was wearing like a Nightmare on Elm Street like inspired coat.
Yeah, and he had the spikes and the classic bat. He's still
Yeah.
holding that bat around. I don't know what they're trying to get at there, but
Mm.
um,
I was
yeah.
surprised that Colt got a lot of offense in this match.
I'm sure I kind of just knew Colt was going to because he's been wrestling for like over 30 years or whatever. Like he's not some like brush off. This wasn't going to be like a dominant Jericho match, but I think they did a really good job of giving Colt just like enough offense.
Mm.
And I mean, we all knew Jericho was going to win.
Yeah, of course.
So it wasn't like we didn't know that, but it was really cool to see. See, I'm not a big fan of Colt because his gimmick really just doesn't it doesn't fit for me. Not fit, but it just doesn't you know work for me compared to other. I can see why other people like it, but
Yeah,
um,
it is a very interesting gimmick because it's really just. Is this kind of like it's just him being goofy? I guess you can say it.
uh, yeah, maybe when I was younger, I probably would have liked him, but now I don't think so. I don't like him as much as I probably would have.
Yeah, I would say that his what he does in the ring is very like it depends on it's a person to person kind of thing. If you like him, you like him. If you don't, you don't.
It's not like I hate the guy, but like I'd rather see somebody else in there.
Mm.
Um,
So of course Jericho gets the win with the Judas effect, and then
yeah,
gets into a promo afterwards.
yeah, and I was like, oh no, what is gonna happen here?
Once again, he wants to get Tyson again. He wants him right now, but then he gets interrupted by Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, I was like, oh, and this guy. Do you think we'll get Orange Cassidy, Chris Jericho at Fyter Fest?
I say yes.
I feel like we have to, or unless they put it on TV. Like, obviously this is TV, but unless they, because
At this
they're gonna
point, they
have to
have to.
do this feud for a month, so we'll have.
I think it's very possible.
I think that would be a fun match. I don't. I mean, again, I think that could be Cassidy's first win, honestly.
Well, Cassidy has gotten
Or
up.
no, I mean like first like big win, like
That would
against
be tough
somebody.
for me to go because I feel like Jericho will still get the win because like it would be his big win after losing to the Stadium Stampede match. I guess
Yeah, I don't know.
we'll just have to talk about that if the match does happen.
It will happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, that's true. Because
But
it could very well happen at Firefest.
yeah, I mean, there's gonna have to be more matches than just the title matches. So
Mm.
there's gonna be those filler matches. Hopefully, no Shawn Spears garbage matches the pay per view. So we'll have to see what happens with that. But Orange Cassidy comes in, does a little
He puts
dodging everybody.
he puts Jericho's hands in his like pockets, but he has no pockets, so
No
it's just like
pocket.
his belt.
Yeah, that was a really funny scene there. Jericho was like, "Are you kidding me?" And Hager was like, "What is going?" Hager. I still keep laughing at Hager's poem that he did yet last week, but I've listened to that so many times.
He's
But
great when he tries to act like I guess lighthearted, but then still comes across real super over serious.
Yeah, he's kind of like obviously like the not the weakest member of the inner circle, but he's probably the one with the least I don't know what the word is, but I don't really know what I'm trying to say. But he's like
Yeah,
the one with the least momentum, I guess.
I guess yeah, you could say that. And of course, Hager tries to fight Cassidy. He escapes with the best friends.
Yeah, he jumps over the railing with the best friends, which leads us to the match that they have next week.
Mm.
Should be a fun one.
Yeah, they're having, and then afterwards they had the Brody Lee showing up during a Colt Cabana promo.
Yeah, and that's continuing from last week, obviously with the Battle Royal, and
How they kind of like an interest in getting him to join because of all of his losses he's been taking recently.
yeah, I mean, and then it'll be interesting because he faces Sammy. Colt Cabana faces Sammy next week. I'm sure Dark Order will play a role in that.
Yeah,
That's something. So, we
but
really haven't heard from Brody that much about the fallout from the match. So,
yeah, he just kind of shows up here in this promo and kind of tells him about like because make him join because while he's losing, and he can be better if he joins, and they give him like a water bottle.
yeah,
So we have to see how that goes, like where that storyline is heading to, because that could potentially lead to a match between the two, maybe.
I hope not, but we'll have to see.
Well, we just have to see how that goes, because I think it could be possible, even
Yeah,
if you aren't too excited about it.
yeah.
So the next segment of the show is a vignette featuring Britt Baker, which she's working out it from her wheelchair.
This might have been the best thing she's done so far as like taped like promos kind of go.
Like she's doing like she has like a weight tied to the back of the wheelchair, and she's she's not actually moving herself, but she has the person who's pushing the wheelchair for her.
Yeah, and then you got the trainer who said she's a difficult patient or whatever, trying to help, and she's getting angry and throwing things and.
I'm just doing that. What was it, that like rope thing where you like, I don't know what it's exactly called. But you have like the ropes and you like move your arms up and down to try to get
Yeah,
the.
I'm blanking on them right now, but I know exactly what you're talking. I know,
And,
I don't know the name, but
yeah, I don't know either, but she was doing it from like her wheelchair.
yeah. Again, obviously, she's gonna have to. She's like impressing me every week with these things. Like I think like when's the limit where it's like okay, like this isn't like funny anymore, but she keeps like upping it every week.
Mm. But they've really been making this her whole injury that's been a complete accident turned into a pretty like a character story arc.
Yeah, you wouldn't see that in other companies, so it's really cool to see that.
Mm. So this then afterwards goes into a match between Big Swole and Nyla Rose.
And Big Swole, first match back in like 2 months, I think.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I kind of figured Nyla Rose was gonna win, but
Which of course
it's
she
cool to
does.
see Big Swole back because they really lack depth in the roster.
Mhm.
Obviously, she's been there, but she hasn't wrestled until now.
I think she's a good up and coming wrestler on the women's
Yeah,
roster.
she needs some work, but she has a ton of potential. She has good mic work. I mean, we've seen her talk smack. So
She's
like
exciting to see in the ring.
yeah. So I mean, eventually, I'm sure we'll eventually get a title run with her, but obviously, it's way too early in my opinion.
Yeah, it's way too early right now.
Um, but it's a really good to see another addition to the women's division back because it gives them more stuff to be able to work with.
Yeah. But I think probably if we're gonna see who's gonna go against Hikaru eventually, it's probably gonna be maybe the one to take it off her might be Britt Baker.
Yeah, at All Out because that's the thing is she just gonna hold it probably the whole summer, and then
Yeah,
at All Out she probably will lose it if I had to imagine.
maybe.
So
We have to see.
and again, it looks like we're gonna have crowds of some sort by then, so that's a pretty good sign.
Mm.
But obviously, they haven't announced anything regards to location or anything.
Yeah, we just know the dates for when it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And Nyla Rose, of course, gets the win with the Beast Bomb, and afterwards, Big Swole goes after Britt Baker with a chair.
Yeah, well, yeah, because she was like she pushed, and then she got Reba to drive her like assistant or whatever to drive the golf cart or not the golf cart, the gator, and she ran into the fence with it.
Mm.
And then she backed away after she saw Big Swole get the chair, and Britt was like, "I'm injured. I'm injured." And it's like, what, you were just like trying to fight her right now, and now you're saying you're injured. So, um, that was a funny little thing there.
Yep.
I'm sure. Again, I have no clue where they're going with this division since they have they don't have much
It's
depth.
very limited right now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So maybe potentially we could see a match between like when Britt Baker comes back to at full health again. Potentially maybe a match between her and Big Swole.
Yeah, I mean they've had that feud before. Like the last week of TV, with crowds was that day that I think, they had that interaction with Tony Schiavone on the stage, and they were talking about like Adam Cole's wife or Adam Cole's, because they were just doing like jabs at each other, and it's continuing on.
Yeah. I just feel like it's gonna come back around again once Britt Baker gets healthy. So the next segment on the show, we have a quick interview with Darby Allin when he was kind of calling out Brian Cage. Which is kind of something that I kind of felt like it was gonna happen just because, this whole thing with Taz trying to mentor him at the beginning, but then, he's now now going to be with Brian Cage because it just seems like it's going to be destined to happen.
Yeah. I love that pairing.
Yeah, it is a really good pairing that they put Brian Cage with Taz. It just feels right to me, I guess.
Yeah, it's great pairing. Taz is good on the mic. Brian Cage is good on the mic, but he doesn't need to talk, so it's a good thing.
Taz has that good voice to him where he can really send something across like he really means it.
Yeah, I can't wait for this match. I've been looking forward to it. It's again, I don't know what they're gonna do because I don't know what you do if Mox loses, like where you go, or I don't know how long until he loses the belt.
But I think this could be like Brian Cage, just like you said, like his first big win with someone that isn't like a squash match jobber.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which it would be something he needed to get to Firefest to have a match with Moxley.
Mm-hmm.
So then the next segment on the show was with probably one of the segments everyone was looking forward to this week, and the interview with FTR.
Great interview, was non-scripted. You could tell, obviously it was just straight up honest answers, and you can just it's so sad. Like you can see how much talent they have, and for it to be wasted like that, how it was,
it really was, honestly.
And the whole tag team division to be wasted like that, it's sad, and it sucks, but we got.
I believed in them. I own a shirt, one of their merch myself, so I was really looking.
I'll never forget when they debuted on Raw or whatever with New Day, and everybody was screaming their name or the song.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously they're a huge run in NXT. It just sucks. Like
it is what it is sometimes.
That they're here now, but I feel bad for
them. But now we're here with a lot of interesting things that they say in this interview. Like they put over all the other teams. They kind of poked at the Lucha Brothers, which I love because their whole thing in WWE was that they were flips, there were no flips, just fists, and they were saying about how the Lucha Brothers were against all that they believed in tag team wrestling.
Yeah, they are now it is the best tag team division. They said. I told you this last week, like the amount of pairings that you can do with like FTR that we never thought we would see is crazy. Like Santana and Ortiz, Young Bucks, there's so many good. Oh my gosh!
It really is the best tag team division in the world right now.
100%. You can't argue. You can't argue.
Though I do have to say, it's still gonna be kind of hard for me to get used to FTR's new names, like Cash and Dax. Like that's still gonna feel weird to me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call them FTR, go from there.
Yeah, so they talk about the Young Bucks. They talked about how Dave Meltzer really likes them, and they said that it would like they don't think a match with them would be a dream match. Like they think that this would just be like a regular match that they need to have.
Love that because it shows that they really just don't care. Like they're just like, yeah, it's just gonna be another match. Like that's how much they love like they don't, that's how much they love tag team wrestling.
Yeah, and they're gonna have. I can already think they're gonna have amazing matches in this company.
It's gonna be incredible, and I just can't wait for crowds. I really like we talk about this every week, but AEW would have benefited so much. I mean, they're doing well as they are right now, which is great. But
Yeah.
with crowds and all these debuts that they've had, not all, there was like 3 or 4 with Brian Cage, FTR, Brody Lee, and Matt Hardy. Like the pops that they would have got would have been incredible. And it's sad, but I think the pops are still going to be crazy whenever they do that Young Bucks FTR feud, and it really looks like they both know that they want to do that in front of a crowd, so they're really trying to just push it off as much as possible. And I mean, they can slow burn that feud until they
really can.
Yeah,
because like AEW crowds really do bring a big part of the show into it, because there's just something about that really gets everything even bigger than it really is. Like
it's huge. They just love wrestling. Like that's compared to every other crowd. Like they love wrestling. They love the storytelling. They love they don't. I don't know. Like they really.
There's just something about it's just really ruckus compared to like everything else. It's almost borderlines like how ECW kind of used to be back way back then.
Say ECW was crazy.
Yeah, ECW crowd was crazy. But I'm not saying they're like that crazy, but like they're like somewhat like I don't know, like close.
I get what you're trying to say.
They have that like feel to it. I don't know what to say.
I just can't wait to see all the energy that they're gonna bring because they've been obviously away from it for so long. So that first match that there's going to be like an attendance is going to be really fun.
It's going to be really fun when they have their first match in front of a live audience again, because you know that the crowd would just been waiting to be able to show up to these shows again.
I should be going to the Philly show that they pushed to July 29th, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Hey, it's probably it's going to happen eventually. They'll probably find some way.
I hope they keep pushing it to like winter break, so I don't have to like skip a class in school or anything. But
hey, we went to the one in Philly, and it was during the school week, so
Yeah, it's a little tough.
It was tough. It really was very tough.
But yeah.
So then the very next segment was the main event of the show. Cody, the champion, going against Jungle Boy for the with the TNT title on the line.
And this was a great match. They really kind of are showing you the importance that they want to give to this title. Obviously, they had like the showing of the title. They really made it very professional. With all that stuff, they kind of made it really serious. And this was a really good match for the first title defense.
Yeah, and they've really been putting over Jungle Boy so hard recently. Like he's been looking amazing.
Yeah, and he's 22. He's 2 years older than me, which is crazy to think about. Yeah, I mean, he's a great talent. Obviously, he needs to work on his mic work. I mean, I don't even want to say that because, we haven't really heard him talk on the mic that much. So who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe he does have a good mic skills. We just haven't heard them yet.
His in-ring work is great.
He's going to be a great talent to develop. He's already a star in the company. Imagine he's only 22. Same with MJF. MJF's only 24. Who does play a role in this match, by the way. We'll get into that. And those are two talents. Those are going to be the faces of the company.
I can imagine Jungle Boy eventually getting a title run, so eventually, and the crowd would just go crazy for it.
Same with Scorpio Sky. Like, there's a lot of like guys like that, like the mid-card talents that will eventually be main title contenders.
You just see that people really would want to see some of these people just hold a title at least once. Yeah, there's some crowd favorites in these tag teams.
Yeah, okay. Quick question: do you think Orange Cassidy will ever win a title, like either the TNT title or?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Very unlikely, but
I don't think it would be a smart move. I know like the AEW fans would like it, but like I don't know, how normal fans like that
That's
would be like
true.
they're not taking it serious. They have a joke of a guy holding the bell or whatever. So
Yeah, that's true. I do feel like it would be a very big long shot, but it's possible, maybe.
maybe a tag belt. I don't know. I feel
Yeah,
like he could hold something.
you could eventually hold something. I think a tag team title, maybe, but I don't know about singles. It would be a
Yeah.
long shot.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of also lots of outside bickering in this match from the people sitting around that ring side, from especially from the heel side of this.
Yeah, Vicky was there repping the inner circle. Vicky Guerrero.
Hmm.
Always great to see her. Get your earplugs. But MJF and Wardlow just were really quiet the whole night. They were just sitting there
Yes,
chilling, drinking wine. Wardlow had the tank top on. He's flexing his muscle. Just doing Wardlow stuff. Uh, and then MJF just sitting there, and then finally he snapped at the end, which it was great to see. I kind of missed hearing MJF this week.
that's
We
true.
didn't really
He
hear
didn't
from him
do
at
much this
all.
week.
Yeah, we didn't at all. And
Yeah,
he shows like how good of a heel he is, even
it's
though
like then
like
you start asking yourself, where's MJF?
yeah. And that's and that MJ like the three guys that like MJF, Cody, and Jungle Boy, they all are gonna have like long feuds with each other. Like
Yeah,
these can be long lasting kind of things.
like,
But that was
they can
cool.
just have matches on and off forever. It feels.
Yeah. But
So yeah,
yeah,
at one point in this match, Cody gets thrown into a wall, which causes him to bleed. So it really takes this match up another level than it already was at
yeah.
this point.
Once I saw him bleeding, I was like, all right, Cody's going all out with this belt like every week because I feel like he's
Yeah,
gonna
this.
bleed like every week.
Okay, I don't know if he's gonna bleed every single week, but I I think he's gonna be trying to take every match as seriously as he can make it every week.
He's gonna take every bump. He's gonna do all the bumps you can think of.
I mean, they fell through a table at one point,
From the top rope too. Like that looked painful.
and
That
they
looked
weren't
so.
like trying to do like a Spanish fly or whatever. They just like generally like both fell over, and then they went through the table.
Yeah. That was a crazy spot. Um, yeah, and
Hmm.
then it was weird. They kind of the timing of this was really weird. It was like 9:57 when that spot happened or something like that, and then they had 3 minutes to get up and get in the ring. I
Yeah, it
thought
did kind of
maybe they
feel
would do a
like
tie, but I don't know how that would work for a belt. Like you don't
yeah.
win, you don't lose. You just
It'd
it's a
be weird if it
neutral.
was a tie though. It'd been really weird.
Yeah. So they rushed back in the ring, and then Cody hit the crossroads.
Jungle Boy kind of sold it like death.
Yeah, I mean he did the Sammy Guevara sell, which was
Yeah, he like bended in half from that.
yeah.
And of course, Cody got the win with the Crossroads, and he's still the TNT champion.
Yeah, solid
It was a
first
really
match for the
solid
belt.
match.
The only thing I ask is they get this new belt ASAP.
Yeah, it still kind of looks kind of weird. I just don't really like that like
I'm
template. I guess
hoping
it's currently at.
I'm hoping by Fighter Fest they can have that belt
Hopefully,
how it's
yeah.
supposed to look.
So what we have set up net for next week's show, we got we have Cody versus Mark Quinn defending the title again. We
Yep.
have we're having the debut match of FTR going against the Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a fun one. Butcher and the Blade, they were on Dark on Tuesday, and they look really good. I mean, they faced some jobbers, so it was like whatever, but they
What I
look
forgot to
like
bring up was that yeah, and one thing we forgot to bring up was that they earned that FTR interview at the very end. Butcher and the Blade interrupt trying to get into a fight with them, and they needed like a bunch of guys from the back to break them up. So that's the reason why this match is happening. Besides the fact that FTR will kind of stop them during their beat up of the Young Bucks from about a week
say
ago.
that again. Hello?
Well, I was talking about how the Butcher and how the reason why this match is happening is not only because the Butcher and the Blade interrupted the FTR interview in the show, but also they had that FTR stopping the Butcher and Blade once again at like last week during that when they're trying to attack the Young Bucks.
Yeah, it's going to be a great match. Obviously, Butcher and Blade aren't going to win. FTR is clearly going to win.
Yeah, of course.
Who knows? We might see some Young Bucks come in here. Who knows?
There might be an after-match beatdown.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if because for the Young Bucks maybe, but I don't think
I could.
FTR.
Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be like some sort of fight breaking out after the match. I don't know between who, but I feel like it could happen.
I really like Butcher and the Blade. I don't like how they've been handled since they came in because they haven't really won too many matches.
Yeah,
And they're kind of just put into position to put FTR over. I mean, FTR is already over, but have them win the match. So,
and they need the win to get into like the AEW kind of flow, I guess.
yeah, and then you have that whole thing with Allie going on throughout the show again.
Mm.
I don't know if you saw Dark at all, but
Nah.
Allie, they're really pushing this Allie and QT thing. Like,
Hmm.
QT bought a new Corvette and it was blue, or a Camaro and it was blue. And Justin and Brandy were outside and why is she here and why do you have a new car? And she's like, I don't know. She told me she liked the color blue, so he went and bought a Camaro or something. And they're really trying to sell this, but obviously, like QT, she obviously doesn't like you, and he doesn't believe it. So like the whole thing is like they're trying to tell her. But that's a cool little feud. I'm sure Allie will go back to Butcher and the Blade. I'm pretty sure this is just building up to that.
Yeah, and the other thing that's happening next week, Sammy Guevara versus Colt Cabana, which personally I think Sammy Guevara is obviously going to win this match, in my opinion.
And I'm sure Dark Order will get involved at some point.
Yeah, I think Dark Order will get involved after the match to continue this thing of Colt Cabana losing.
They need to get somebody with them. I mean, I don't know if Colt's the right answer.
Yeah, I don't know if Colt's the right answer.
But they need somebody because, I mean, we've talked about this also, is like, they have so many, like Evil Uno and Stu Grayson are in Canada, so they can't come, like, they're stuck. Like, it's not like they're not just coming to the show.
Yeah, like, all this right now is just Brody Lee and Ten and the Creepers.
Yeah, so they need to figure out something to, like, make them stronger, and I don't think Colt's the answer.
Yeah. And then the last thing that we have expected for next week is a 6-man tag match between the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy and the Inner Circle of Santana Ortiz and Jake Hager.
That's going to be a fun one.
That should be a very fun match.
Santana Ortiz and Hager all although everyone in the match have some fun like character to them where they're
all of them
serious
have like
when
a
they
certain
need to
quirk.
be. Yeah, they're serious when they need to be, but then they'll have a little fun when they want to. So, obviously, with Orange Cassidy in there, they're probably going to progress that feud.
Yeah.
Who do you think wins? Because Best Friends are the number one contenders. So, do you think Best Friends beat the Inner Circle, or do you think
I feel like it's either going to go as the Best Friends beating them, or the Inner Circle is going to win by some sort of interference.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know.
Because I feel like the Best Friends won't lose clean.
Yeah, they're obviously. I honestly think they take the titles.
Yeah, I think the Best Friends might actually beat Hangman and Omega at Fyter Fest.
Yeah, I want to see. Like, they're a great tag team, Hangman and Kenny, which is like the last thing I thought would be a great tag team. But not the last thing, but the last thing I imagine would be a tag team. And I really want to see them back to their singles runs. I think that would increase the singles division because then you could have Kenny go for the belt again. You could have Hangman go for the belt again. You could have Hangman versus Cody. You could it would increase the singles division if you have them lose.
Yeah, because they could have Hangman go against Cody for the TNT title, which could continue the whole thing of Elite, him breaking away from the Elite.
Yeah, I mean, if you split them apart, those are two singles wrestlers right there that are great singles wrestlers, some of the best in the world, that you can add to the singles division.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, so let's love. It seems like a very good matches to prepare for ourselves for next week because it seems like it's gonna be a very exciting show.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's. I mean, every week there's stuff that we don't like. The Burt Baker promo wasn't promoted at all, but that was one of the best things of the week. There's probably gonna be a lot of things on there that we don't know about yet that we just
Hmm.
will find out the night of the show. So
Of course, all the hype's gonna be around the FTR Butcher and Blade match because it's gonna be
I'm
their first match.
I'm wondering because they had music. They did like a little promo thing before they even signed with anybody. I'm wondering if that's gonna be their music. I just want to see what their music and the ring attire looks like.
Hmm. Also, let me point out that they do kind of reference the whole catchphrase thing in that I forgot to point out that in that interview with FTR, they point out that it's like, oh, FTR is not a catchphrase or a slogan; it's a way of life. And then towards the end of their interview with Tony, they were like, Tony says the old catchphrase, which they of course had to blur that out.
It blurred the whole thing out.
Yeah,
Classic Tony, and yeah,
that's
it's
like
just
classic elite stuff.
yeah. I just you gotta start watching Being the Elite if you haven't. You and anybody else who's listening to this.
I was there till I knew about the whole catchphrase thing, and that's all the crazy stuff they did with
There's
that.
a lot of funny stuff. If you want to go back, if you want to have a good laugh, definitely go check out. There's like compilations of FTR Being the Elite compilations, and there's so many funny things.
It's so hilarious. It's honestly that was probably one of the best stretches of being the elite they had, which is
Yeah,
them constantly saying the FTR slogan and stuff like that.
yeah. It's gonna be a fun. It's really exciting to see them in AEW. It's been
Yeah.
what a lot of people have been waiting for. And again, hopefully crowds can come back soon. It looks like we're heading in the right direction with that,
Mhm.
which is better. We obviously thought it might take a little bit longer, but it might be a little bit shorter just because Florida's kind of crazy. So, and Texas,
Florida is
too.
a
There's
pretty
lot of
wild
states.
place.
Yeah, there's a couple states that are just going back to being open again. So,
I think Las Vegas is trying to do that, but that's a whole other can
yeah,
of
I don't
worms.
know. Yeah, that seems like not a good idea for Las Vegas to do, but I don't know.
I don't know. Florida is a little more, I guess you could say, bigger place.
Yeah, I don't know, but hopefully, because I don't know. Did I say about the concert halls, or was that before?
No, you didn't bring that up yet at the
Yeah, so like
concert.
I forget what I said. So like concert halls starting this weekend, starting this weekend is when they're reopening. So like concert halls and have 50% capacity for concerts. So like I don't know if they can apply that to wrestling in any way. I'm sure they will be able to, and I'm sure Tony Khan's gonna be all over that.
Yeah, you'll probably try to find ways to get that involved.
Yeah, but then you also have to just be really smart with the
Oh yeah.
getting people sick and all that stuff. So they have to find a way to make it work.
Hmm. So we're gonna have to make sure we tune in for next week's episode because it seems like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we say that every week, so
Yep.
it tells you the state of AEW right
The only
now.
one I think we only didn't say that to was actually this week's episode.
Yeah, I mean, and that was because of the one match, but the one match was actually pretty good. So
Yep.
I'm just going into it with no expectations. So then I don't, I get excited.
If we go into things with no expectations, then you won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
So that'll have to do it for this week's episode. I'm Sean DeLong.
I'm Justin Bradley.
Make sure to tune in to next Thursday's episode.